Yeah, isn't this the best topic ever? So I obviously was around many, many meditators for a long time, and my spiritual tradition is full of very devout meditators. And the funny thing about devout meditators is that even though you may do it for a long time, it's challenging. Meditation, as you might all know, has challenges, right? To become very, very focused. And so the advice that my teacher would always give is it's about being mindful in daily life is how you increase your meditation ability. If you want to increase your focus, essentially, if you want to learn to collapse time and be one with each moment, we need to learn to practice mindfulness in daily life. And the way to practice mindfulness in daily life is to put containers around each activity that you do with a special intention and boundaries for each one. My teacher called this spiritual time blocking,
Yeah.
right? It's the same thing as a pocket dimension. Spiritual time blocking, what does that mean? It means you have a container, a unit of time. It's a condensed unit of time and space. For example, this call, we had a certain intention for this call. This call was going to be 2 hours long. We're still within that. So certain topics were not allowed, to come in. We had boundaries on like what is allowed, what's not allowed. And we had a certain unit of time and space. If you think of it, think of a calendar, the way that you'd put a time block on your personal diary or your calendar. For this unit of time, I'm doing this thing and nothing else. That is a time block. It's essentially like creating a channel. What is a channel? A channel is the container for flow, first of all. Channels are the feminine expression of flow, and flow is the masculine expression of a channel. You need both. If you want flow, you need a channel, right? If you're going to have a channel, you increase your capacity for flow. What is a channel? A channel is closed on both sides and it's strategically open in the two ends, like a hose, like a channel, like your chakra column, right? So what does this mean? It means that you need to become aware of what am I closed to? And of course, you have a particular intention for what you're open for. Okay. And so a channel and a time block on your calendar are essentially the same thing. If you think of it, right? That's what it is. It's a way for you to have a particular unit of time and space that you're going to use for only one purpose. For example, do you guys remember in the beginning of this call when I guided the meditation? Do you remember with the first couple things that I said? Forget about everything else, and for the next few minutes, make a decision to just enjoy this meditation. I say that every time I meditate for myself or when I guide them for others. This is the best way to have a better meditation, is to decide. It's a decision, which is the same thing as intention and boundaries. We decide for this unit of time and space for the next few minutes, I'm not going to think about anything else. And what am I going to do? I'm going to enjoy the process that unfolds within this time and space according to my one intention for what I'm using that for. I'm going to enjoy the meditation, for example, or I'm going to enjoy this activity. Okay. Real quick, the last thing I'm going to say, and then Selena can finish, is enjoyment is the other key to focus. In my tradition, in my experience of meditation, obviously learning to focus was a big part, and enjoyment is essentially the secret sauce to focus. If you can enjoy the process of what you're doing after you have the container set, the container being set is the first part, the pocket dimension, the spiritual time block, that's number one. But then once it's set, the next key is to enjoy the process. If you enjoy the process, what happens? Your mind engages with what you're focused on perfectly. There's a perfect amount of engagement with the process when you enjoy it. Think about a child when they're at play. A child on the playground and the ground is lava and whatever, they're playing tag, they are inseparable from their activity. They are one with their activity. They're one with that process. And enjoyment is how they bring their mind and the process unified together. If we don't enjoy it, The danger is that either we're not engaged enough or we're too tight.
Mm-hmm.
Who here knows what it feels like to be too tight in how you try to focus?
Mm-hmm.
You try to focus and you're like, and then you get even more distracted.
Mm-hmm.
That is not helpful.
Mm-hmm.
You can try to do that. You're going to get a headache and you're going to cause blockages and problems for yourself. And why do we get tight? Who here wants to know why you get tight? This is going to, if only a few of you are probably going to get this point, but whoever gets it, this is going to change your life. The reason we get too tight is that we're focused on outcomes. When we say control, and yeah, essentially, I think what that translates to usually is we're trying to control an outcome. We're thinking about outcomes. We're attached to outcomes. If you're preoccupied with outcomes, you get too tight. I promise you, getting too tight actually increases distraction. It actually increases distraction. You can't be in your heart and focused and too tight at the same time. Being too tight puts you in your head. Distraction, I promise you. I've done this. I've spent a lot of time trying to learn to focus. It is true. So instead of thinking about outcomes, try to enjoy the process. Just try to get into your heart and stay in your heart. To get in your heart, there's various techniques to get in your heart. Go into nature, go for a walk, breathe away everything that's on your mind. Do some energy work, do some journaling, relax, sleep. There's a lot, enjoy your food. Lots of cool ways to get into your heart. And once you're there, you want to put a time block around your activity, get into a pocket dimension, and try to enjoy the process of whatever you're doing with a limited end caps. The reason that you can do it in an intense, focused way is that there's a beginning and ending. This call, for example, is 2 hours. We can spend focused effort for these 2 hours because there's an ending. We couldn't go on for 12 hours like this or for 3 days, or, the ending allows for more focus. So please honor endings in your own life. When you schedule something for yourself, celebrate that it comes to an end, because that the ending allows you to be more intentional during the activity. We cannot sustain the effort required for our whole life. We have to make little units where we can be more intentional. And then once you're done, you think, okay, well, what's my next thing? Okay, I have a meeting with so-and-so. What is my intention I'm going to bring into that meeting? What is the pocket dimension I can put around that meeting? And you just kind of continue like that. The end caps are, and it starts with the intention, and the end cap is kind of a celebration. Celebrate endings. Promise you, if you do these things, your focus will increase dramatically, and then time gets collapsed, and then you become more valuable to others. Your impact increases, and your ability to manifest increases. Your vision happens faster, and you make more money because you're more valuable and you're more confident in your work. Okay, so these are a couple of ideas. Hopefully this was enjoyable for all of you. Selena, any last words?
No, I'll just honor the ending like you talked about. So we're almost at 1 o'clock. So
Well, we have 2 more minutes. So.
I don't know if I can go into what I was going to say in 2 minutes, but
go for it. We have 4 minutes. Go for it.
Essentially, when we're in service, when we are connected to our vision and we are connected to our purpose and we are applying ourselves, say whether a lot of you guys work with clients, for example, right? When you're in that call with your client, when you're in that meeting with your client, when you amplify your presence and when you really connect to your sense of higher intention within the scope of that call, for example, what you're doing is you're actually providing with your client with more value. Right? Because you're so much more connected. You're so much more in tune. When John's saying like, you have to release that sense of control, what happens? When you release control, you make room in your brain, you make room in your heart, you make room in your energy. So when you have all that space in your energy, what happens is you actually amplify your capacity to connect with the other person that you're working with. And the more connected you are, guess what? The more value you bring to the table, the more your client actually feels every minute with you. They feel so much more powerful than maybe, 10 years they spent with someone else, coaching with someone else, because in that 5 minutes that they have with you, they're going to feel you. They're going to resonate with you. They're going to they're going to realize that your intention is so pure and that your decision to be present with them is so real that they're going to just notice automatically how absolutely insanely valuable you are to them. And as a result of bringing that kind of value, what happens? That person opens up to you even more, and they begin to trust you, and they become more receptive to you. And then boom, that's where you bring your magic. So in whatever way you do it, whether it's through nutrition or self-image coaching, or whether it's through some kind of healing modality, whatever it is that you're bringing to the table, they're going to be able to receive it that much at that much higher level. They're going to be able to experience you at such a deep level that your capacity to create impact is going to skyrocket. Think about it. The more they're feeling you and the more receptive they are to you, the more you're impacting that person at a deeper level. And when you can impact people at a deeper level, that's when they want to pay you more. That's when you can start charging for your services at a higher rate. That's when you can have confidence, knowing that you are someone of value and that you are somebody who is imperative to someone else's life journey. And that person is going to know it right away because they're going to feel that oozing out of you. They're going to really sense that coming out of your energy. And as a result, your business is going to skyrocket. Right. So this was why we wanted to bring this to you today, because we all know that you want to build your businesses and be able to create impact in the world. And we both agree that this bridge from the 5D to the 3D through this notion of time is going to be like some of the secret sauce you're going to have to know in order to be able to create that. And of course, if you guys want more from us, if you guys are interested in learning more, like we literally have an entire curriculum that we've built based on activating light leaders. This is literally just a fraction, like a tiny little fraction. If this blows you away, like, you'll be amazed at what we've put together. We've spent the last 3 months building this in the back end. So this is just a tiny fraction of what we're bringing into this new earth empire consciousness for people. And so if you guys want more of this, definitely schedule a call with us and we can help you with more. We're going to honor the timing for today, but thank you for being here. Thank you for allowing us to share. Thank you for your presence, and we hope to see you guys soon. You want to say anything else?
Thank you all very much for coming, and book a call, and we'll see you the next time. All right.
Okay,
Have a
bye.
great day.
Bye. Thank you.